All right, let's talk, man. Lions defeat the Tampa Bay Bucs 24-9. You always know Vegas working because if you ask anybody, you pretty much would have bet the over in this game. I think the over opening when I did the prediction video was at 53 and a half points. I think Saturday night. But nonetheless, um interesting game. I agree with Woolworth Sports. It seems something to be off with the Lions offense. Um, they getting good play. It just seemed like they haven't put it all together, and we ain't even halfway through the season. But they seem to be able to. They seem to be able to just be great in spurts. You can kind of see what I'm saying. The Lions' offense just seemed to be really good in spurts. Okay, they able just to just be explosive when just in a short period of time. I don't really think, other than a couple games, they really put together. I don't even think they put together a full game offensive experience. And just thinking about it right now, I think it's only one. It's only one culprit, and in my opinion, it's only one culprit. It's the fact that Jameson Williams has not got to the party yet. I think that's the biggest hole in this offense. I think Montgomery's had his moments, Gibbs had his moments, Amara had his moments. Um, Sam Laporta had his moments. I think if you're being 100% honest, JMO effect is just missing. That's it. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be explosive plays down the field. I just think where Ben Johnson had left off with JMO, um, I don't think John Morton has picked up with that yet. So I think that's an issue. They still kind of getting the feel. It's like it's a reset. It's like when Ben Johnson was here, it was like, okay, JMO and golf starting to click, and now it's like hitting the reset button. So just hope they click when they most need it the most. So it could be how defenses is playing them. So maybe you might have to put them on some shorter routes. That may be the answer to kind of do something different. But overall, defense stepped up. I mean, if Calvin Shepard didn't have dreadlocks and tattoos, he would probably already be gone. That's the only thing that's gonna stop him from leaving. Maybe as we usher in a new generation of ownership taking over. Um, maybe that may take over these baby boomers and older guys, and women get out of ownership in the NFL. You may see, they may not, start getting away with the, let go of some of the stereotypes. Back in the day, if you had a tattoo, a nose ring, an earring, if you had long hair, that was a kiss of death. So I mean, he put together a phenomenal game plan. They played well. I think he simplified a lot of things for these guys, Mullet and Rocket Scene. I think he simplified a lot for those guys to come in and have success. The safeties, they came down. I mean, they made some plays in the box. The corners, Roxanne played well. And like I said, I think it was a blessing in disguise for Brian Branch to be out. I think he needed a rest last week. I think he needed a rest this week. So to allow them to get healthy and just figure it out, up front, they're playing really, really well. Shout out to the weak guy. He got him from Dallas to Jacksonville. He got a really good sack, made a couple plays today. So, I mean, Tampa, they was coming in beat up. But it's just something about Antoine Winfield and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like Jahmyr Gibbs just plays really, really well against Antoine Winfield Jr. Like he just obliterates him, man, out the water when they play. But I mean, it was one of those games, Tampa. I don't really think like they've been a great team this year. It kind of remind me of Detroit. they just find ways to win games. I think at some point they will put it all together. They kind of one of those teams that remind me of the Lions, where they get closer and closer and closer and closer to putting it all together. You know, right now you don't want to be peaking. You know, people have their opinions on like Buffalo right now, and it's New England time. I mean, it's like, playing Jordan and you up by 8 or 10 or 6, or maybe even going into the fourth quarter, but he's going to hit the gas. When you start talking about Buffalo, Tampa, Detroit, you're not going to judge Kansas City. You're not going to judge these teams right now. You're not going to judge these teams like right now. That's just a fact. You're not. How they're playing, leaving December, how healthy they are, and how they're playing leaving December, going into January is pretty much going to be the number one thing for those teams, man. So I hope people know that you don't judge the book or these teams right now by their cover. But Baker was 28 for 50. Anytime you see Baker drive back 50 times, it's probably going to be an L. 228 yards, 1 TD, 1 reception. Rashad White, they backup running back, because the other Bucky Irvin's out, 10 carries, 38 yards. And then it's just K9 had a big day, came up short on the first down. So Rashad White, I'm thinking about Bucky Irvin. Emeka Buka was hurt. Tez Johnson made some good plays, was overthrown by Baker. That was because of the pressure. They accumulated 4 sacks today. So I didn't even know they had Hassan Reddick over there. Remember, it was the guy that we was talking about getting, didn't get paid from Philly, didn't get paid. I didn't know he was on the team from the Jets, and, kind of bounced around, and, guess he here. And the blitz pick up the line. They still got to be better. You had Yahya Dobby, Anthony Nelson with a sack. You had Dennis and Tyreek Smith all had sacks. So, Lions still figure out picking up those blitzes. Todd Bowles is very exotic. And also, ironically, after the bye week, which is next week, they'll be going in there versus Brian Flores. I think they had that game at home. But, you're going to see somebody else that like to dial up a lot of exotic blitzes. And the whole thing with Todd Bowles and him dialing up blitzes and Brian Flores is very similar, And last year when Brian Flores, he didn't have much success because you had the general Frank Ragnow doing this thing out there. So it's a little bit different next week with the new offensive line. You won't be in Minnesota week 1, that can be hell. And that could be hell going to Minnesota, in that. But they got some new offensive linemen. They still learning the jail. It ain't going to be perfect. But this was a good prequel to get ready for to actually get ready for, dealing with the blitz packages of Brian Flores. So that's something else to look at it as well, too. Statistically, continue to look off 20, 29, 241, 1 TD, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times. The interception, good play by Jamel Dean, getting off that flat, but it was Gibbs' night. It was a lot of talk that, I told you Bijan Robinson was better. And Gibbs said, hold my goddamn Gatorade. 17 carries, 136, 2 touchdowns. Almost had 100 through the air, 3 catches, 82 yards, and it looked very athletic from Penny Sewell on that little, I don't know, real route, whatever that was. Design play in the flats. And I do like how John Morton is getting the ball out the backfield, not just the safety vibes, but on design routes. I mean, Gibbs 82 yards, St. Brown, most of his yards came early, 86. And right now I told y'all the missing link is, that guy downfield. Whether it's Tesla, man, whether it's J-Mo, I know people talking about, they're not getting nothing downfield. Right now it's because J-Mo and, Goff ain't clicking, and then they ain't really, really put Isaac Tesla in there. It's really still more Khalif Raymond. So at some point, either they got to get J-Mo clicking, or they got to get Isaac Tesla in there, and he got to get clicking down the field. They ain't going to need that down the field work. So either they got to start sending, J-Mo underneath to soften the coverage, or find other ways to get them the ball. But I think going underneath and screens and slants, you got to take your chance putting them over or doing something different with them. But, a lot of these guys, Eric Hallett played well, Campbell played. I mean, you can name it. They had They had 4 sacks themselves, a half sack for Al Quayed Muhammad, 1.5 for Tyrus excuse me, I keep on Wheatley. Derek Barnes had a sack. Eric Muller had a sack. I mean, you know, Aiden Hutchinson rushed well. I mean, he's a hell of a difference maker. And overall, I don't think Tampa gonna let this define them. We might see them down the road. I think they gonna hope to get Mike Evans back. I'm a big Mike Evans fan. Um, I think they're gonna hope to get healthy, and we hope to get healthy, and be a different ball game if we see each other, down the road. But for the most part, the Lions need that win going to the bye. Let some of these guys get healthy because you really going through, I would say, your last on paper down and stretch, and that's what it is. Your last down and stretch on paper. You going Minnesota. You going you going Minnesota. You going I think Washington. And the Eagles, and then the Giants are looking pretty good as of right now. But I don't think anybody's like, oh my gosh, the Giants. So I think that's your last really tough stretch. But they got hella five pass rushers right now. Giants should have won yesterday. So this next stretch out this bye, you get by. You still got Dallas, I think, on a Thursday night after Thanksgiving. You still got Stafford and the Rams, who playing really well right now, and I think Puka be healthy by that time. But for Tampa, they not in a very vicious division. I think Bryce Young went down again with an ankle injury. He's playing pretty well. You can tell there was a difference between him and Andy Dalton, being in there at quarterback. So, we'll see what's happening. But, good win. I think if you asking me what's missing from the Lions offense, it's just the threat down the field. And if they supplement that with using Tesla, or they find a way to get Jameson Williams the ball, no more like end rounds and safety valves or nothing like that. I think thing about it is they have to get him the ball either outside the hashes, inside the hashes. I think early and often just getting the ball in his hands. I didn't really like that pass interference on him. I ain't like that. The pass interference on him, I don't think that was pass interference. That was a good back shoulder. I didn't hear that discussed enough. I didn't think he pissed off on that one. That was I think that was a really good route. But yeah, they got to find a way to really kind of get him involved. And he's keeping a positive attitude, by the way. So yeah, they got to find a way to get him involved. And if they can find a way to get him involved, I think that's what you're missing from the offense. You're just missing something downfield. Or if it's getting Tesla involved, they need somebody to stretch the field and keep those safeties honest. So I think that's it. But hey, check out Detroit Lions post-game reaction playlist. Hit the link tree. You can find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.